number 2. So here we're provided with this string of text to work with, and we've got 3 changes we want to make. So the string, this is referencing, it's right here, and it's the string of names. So it says let my string equal single quotes, and all these names are separated by plus signs. So the first thing we want to do is we want to split up this string into an array. And so we have a method that we can apply where we can say, I'm going to define the array, so let my array equal, and we're going to take my string and use this method called split, and we're going to input the string or the value that we want to split upon. So this is going to be the plus sign like that. So if you're wondering, how would I know to use split, you should be taking a look before attempting these exercises at the link that takes you to MDN, which I'll just click on here. And this page is under Learn Web Development, JavaScript First Steps, and Arrays. And it walks you through how to create an array, modifying items in an array, just like we did in exercise 1, and then some other techniques that we will use in future exercises. One of them is finding the length, and how many items are in the array. And then we'll get into how to convert strings into arrays. And here's exactly where it talks about using split. So it takes one parameter, and if that happens to be the character that we want to separate out, and returns all the substrings between the separators as items in an array or in a list. So this is one way. In the example here, it's a comma-separated list of city names. So this is how you could start to work with data that comes from another source, let's say a spreadsheet or some kind of a static file. And you can start to take that data and break it up into usable elements within JavaScript. So our split, we'll take a look back here on our assignment page, go forward a page. So we're going to split this string on every plus sign, and I'm going to refresh my page. Probably won't see anything different at this point, but I should be able to type in my string. We'll see all those plus separated items, and then if I type in my array, look what we have now. So each one of the values is now comma separated into that list. So the second portion of this is to store the length of the array in a variable called array length. So we're going to take and define let array length equal my array dot length. And that will tell us how long or how many items are in this array. So let me type in array length. We get 8. This is the same as typing in my array dot length. So we'll get 8. And if I just type in my array, you'll notice at the beginning it shows you number 8 in parentheses. So this is how the array or this particular object looks. So here's our 0 index all the way to 7, but it's 8 total values. So that's 8 in its length. And then it says store the last item in the array in a variable called last item. So last item, we want it to tell us or say jury, right? That's the last name in this list. but that would be too simple to just do it that way. What if we insert one more name at the end or remove a name from the middle? Then the last item, the way this is written here, would be static. So hard-coded, it wouldn't be dynamic. So in order to get the last item, we have to do a little bit of math here. So now that we know how long the array is, we can get a value of 8. But when we want to reference the position of the last item, we want it to say 7. So over in the console, we can experiment with this before we write our code. So we already did my array length is 8. And if I want to get the item that has the index of 7, I have to take 1 away from 8. So I could technically say my array dot length minus 1. That gives me 7. So how do I use that to have it give me that particular value? So if I say my array 0, I get the first item in the array. If I say my array 7, that's the last item. So I can combine these two methods here, techniques. I give them my array, square bracket, is going to fetch the 7th value. So I say my array dot length minus 1, and look at what it tells me. So when I write in my array dot length minus 1, it's calculating that. It's really performing the order of operations here. So it's doing this math, and then it's giving the value. So the value is 7. So it's the equivalent of saying my array 7 up here, except we're having it do this dynamically. So I can take that line and go back over here and say set last item equal to jury, or to the last item of the array. So we're going to do let last item equal that. Save that and refresh. And now all of the code that is below the section says do not edit gets a chance to run here. So it shows you the array, all comma separated, tells you how long it is, and then tells you the value of the last item in that particular array.